Hi, I'm Jan Brett. In my book, The Turnip, at the end, the happy ending is that Mother Badger makes turnip pancakes browned in butter for all. And I'm going to share this recipe with you, adding a little bit of smoked salmon with it. And I would like to, first of all, collect all the ingredients. So I'm going to go off to the hen house, since this recipe calls for 3 eggs. And then I'm going to go to some local stores and buy all the ingredients for the pancakes. Time to collect some eggs. Hey, chickens. Hi. Hi, chicks. Oh, have you got any eggs in your nest box? Yes, you do. Let's see, I need 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4. Somebody laid a great big one. Hi, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you for your eggs. Here we are at Hoinster's Farm, where I'm going to pick up some butter and eggs and sour cream for the recipe. I got everything. Time to pick up some salmon. We live right near the ocean, and this is our favorite place to buy fish. Now I've got everything. I'm all ready to cook our dinner. Okay, so I have the ingredients for the turnip pancakes, the first part of the recipe. I've got a turnip, a potato that's kind of an old one, not a new potato, because we don't want too much moisture in this recipe. And I'll only need about half of this turnip. And I will need to peel it, which I can do very quickly. This does not take very long to do. And it reminds me of being in St. Petersburg, where we had the privilege to go to someone's house, a woman who had a dacha outside of St. Petersburg, kind of towards the Baltic Sea. And we were given a delicious dinner prepared by her mother-in-law. Just going to wash this. Who had some of these old recipes that you would never be able to get in a restaurant. I don't think, anyway. They had names like herring and pigs and herring and all kinds of things. They were very yummy. So I don't need all this potato, so I'm just going to peel this potato too, along with a turnip. And then the 3 ingredients are old potato, turnip, and onion. And when I get to the onion, I can talk a little bit about how much you might want to add to your recipe. So I just say half. I'm going to grate half potato, half turnip, but in equal amounts. And then this is a very sweet onion, a Vidalia onion. And you probably all know this trick about running the water so you don't get your eyes all stingy. And a lot of times children don't really like onions, so I would just leave it off. It's not necessary for the recipe, but it is time-honored to have onion and potatoes together. It's a good combo. And this is a very sweet onion. And so I just only need about half of that. So I'll leave that for soup, and I'm just going to dry this off only because the idea is that when I grate it, I want to take as much moisture out of it as I can. I'm first going to grate it on this paper towel, and then I'm going to put it on this linen dishcloth and take some of the more moisture out of it. So this is quite a large grater. I think it makes it, the pancake, it looks better. And it kind of makes it crispy on the outside and a little bit moist on the inside to have these larger pieces. So I brought another grater out of my drawer to show you that I've tried it with this smaller size and it's not quite as good. This would be a smaller grater. I use that for cheese actually. But this is, here you can see how big those pieces are. So once it's grated half and half, half turnip, half potato, and then we'll add the onion. Trying to be careful not to get my finger in there. It'll make a nice crispy pancake. Okay, so I got some big lumps here that I'm just gonna take out and put that in my compost. And the first ingredient is all done. I might as well just squeeze some moisture out while I can right now, and then it goes into the linen towel. And I'll do another one for the potato. So I just used a regular potato pancake recipe and then added the turnip, and the turnip makes it very sweet and absolutely delicious. I think it's a really good way to do it. And of course, I'm going to serve my pancakes with smoked salmon and some sour cream, but it's also traditional to have them with applesauce. And children love applesauce, so that might be a good option. That were looks about the right amount of potato. Oops. This potato is quite moist. So I'm going to take that extra step and first squeeze the moisture out in the paper towel. You can see there's even water coming out of it. And onto the linen towel. And then we have the onion, my least favorite part. It's kind of stingy in the eyes. But both my husband and I are quite fond of onion, so it'll make it very delicious. And those big pieces I will save for soup or some other purpose. And those two are too big. Squeeze the water out of this. Oh, this is really got a lot of moisture in it. All the onion juice. And then I will put these 3 ingredients on this linen towel. Linen just because it absorbs a lot of water compared to like a cotton one. So I'll just wrap this up, and I am going to let this rest for an hour. Maybe it's not really, it's already coming through with moisture, so I'm going to wrap it in another one. And I'm going to let this rest for half an hour, and then I'll be ready to add the other ingredients. And I could be making the salad or some other component of the dinner while I'm waiting for that to rest, and then I will cook up the pancakes. I'm going to start by starting the oil and the butter in my frying pan. I call this a spider. It's been in my family for a couple of generations. And I'm using half olive oil and half butter. And I'm just gonna, it won't take me long to assemble the ingredients. So I'm going to get this going so it's nice and sizzly. For the pancakes. So, bowl. You need a small bowl. It's time to unwrap all those ingredients that now the moisture has been taken out of. So then they will saute and not boil. And just shaking all these. So we've got potato, we've got onion, and we've got turnip in here. Whoa. Get that to go back into the dish here. Now I'm just stirring and mixing it up. So actually a fork would probably be a better tool for this, but not bad. And then I will take, you should use 3 eggs, but because I have bantam chickens, I am going to use 4 eggs. because they're a little bit smaller, the bantam eggs. You can see they're a little bit smaller than usual. But they sure are fresh. So I'm just going to mix these eggs up. And in it goes with the vegetables. And then next we need a tablespoon of flour. And we'll see how this looks. You can use your eye a little bit and decide exactly how firm you want these pancakes. But that looks really good so far, although here's a piece of onion is too big. And then some pepper and a little bit of sea salt. I don't want to overdo it in the sea salt because there's going to be smoked salmon in there. That's pretty salty. And then secret ingredient, just a tiny little bit of nutmeg. So much that you can't even identify it. I think we'll add a little special flavor there. So that looks fantastic. And I bet my oil and butter combination is now ready to go. It looks perfect. So I'm just going to spread that out with my spatula. And you can see this like, not even a 1/4 of an inch of butter in there, but it's a little bit more than I would normally use if I was cooking something else. Because these are going to be almost not deep fat fried, but they have a lot of, I'm thinking the temperature needs to be a little bit higher. And I'm just going to let these, I'm making 3 pancakes right now. And I'll just let these brown. So the flour kind of is the glue. It'll glue them together. They're staying pretty much together, but the charm of them is they kind of fall apart a little bit. You don't want it to look too smooth. So that crunchy look is what I'm looking for. And I tried this on a regular grill and the butter just wasn't deep enough. And they weren't as good. They weren't as tender on the outside and kind of chewy on the inside. So I think that this spider is going to be the best way to do it. And I can just, as they're cooking, I can just lift up and see if they're browning, which they're not yet. So I've got the temperature, well, not quite up to medium, but I want it to be able to cook those pieces of potato so it doesn't taste raw when they're finally served. Okay, so they're nice and golden brown on both sides. I think the centers are nicely done, and so I'll just take these potato pancakes off my spider. They look good. The whole idea is to get that turnip caramelized. Turn the oven off, and then I will put them over here on our dinner plates, because this is going to be our dinner tonight, and do the finishing touches. So we'll each have 1 1/2, I guess. So this makes a very elegant breakfast, a side dish, or it could be the whole dinner, which is going to be for us. And I have my smoked salmon, which I've already taken out of the package. And I'll put a little dollop of sour cream, or you could use creme fraiche on the top of each. That'll get a little melty. And then with the salmon, I'm just going to cut this into strips and make, I call them salmon roses, but just take for the salmon with your fingers and roll it. So it just sits on top like that. Looks pretty. The colors are beautiful. And the little extra rows there. I mean, I'm going to add a little extra rows because that little piece, that looks really nice. Oh, it would look great with some parsley, which I don't have. But what I do have are some capers, which I think is a nice combo that's often used with smoked salmon. Just over the top. And I will bring these into the dining room for a delicious light dinner.